What is a thought other than some noise? I know, awfully tropey of an image, isn't it? Yet I'd like to consider it fairly accurate. After all, have you ever bothered to count every individual thought that passes through your head? Of course not. Attempts were made, I'm sure. You tried your very best as thought after thought buzzed through that brain, faster than you could even remember to try and hold on to it. While others don't really move that much, cowering in the shadows, the dark, twisted corners of a mind that wants to be mainly one thing: vacant. What a wonderful word, isn't it? So many different notions that it can carry. It can promise bliss, can seduce to weakness, or can push open the window to something else, something new, yet so familiar. Hush, quiet down and listen for a second. What does that word carry when you hear it? Vacant. Was it temptation? A promise? Or even a threat? We think too much about such questions. That is why the idea to be open to a hypnotist's words sends more than one kind of shiver down that spine. Granted, that is exactly what makes it fun to seek out that sensation time and time again. Delving in, mind first, to find out what that word does to you. If it is a lullaby, putting that busy, smart mind to sleep for a while. Or if it is the thrilling rush of pleasure, as that body realizes mindless compliance is just one word away. Because, here and now, that is exactly what's happening. I'm not even bothering with an induction, not even pretending to be subtle about it. Yet I'm not dropping you yet either. Why would I? That wonderful, twisted, sensitive brain of yours is figuring out something important right now. Why would I drop it into trance right here, right now? When it is beginning to feel how thoughts are just noise buzzing around in that head. How each word those ears hear begins to unravel that noise around the seams, break it up, bend and manipulate it, to lure it in a new direction. Meanwhile, I can simply keep on talking, as that head absorbs the noise I make and adds it to whatever is already floating through that head, seamlessly weaving my words into whatever that head seems to think, as the noises fall apart as easily as they form anew while I speak. Which makes listening truly effortless, because it doesn't even matter if you pay attention to my words, or if they phase right through that vacant head of yours. In either case, my voice can sweep around that head and through that mind so easily. Shush that noisy clutter in that head, almost in passing, and pat that vacant, empty head as I fill it up with whatever is meant to be in there, which arguably may well be nothing, or just one thing, or really whatever the situation may call for. Funny how good minds are at filling up after first being emptied out completely. even now there are noises flowing through that head. So surely you are thinking exactly what you're meant to think by listening and melting into my voice. As all of that noise in that head gains a direction, a purpose, a sense of heading further and further down towards the place meant for that mind, helping it to do whatever it is meant to do right now. It is remarkable again and again how focused and yet relaxed a mind is once the noise in that head melts away into a compelling voice. Almost like that head were meant to listen and do as it is told. Almost like it didn't matter whatever noisy little thoughts it may have the rest of the time, so long as right here, right now, it is free to let go and melt a bit more with every word. Gosh, what an idea, isn't it? That I don't even need to weave a clever induction anymore, because the sound of my voice already has the power to make that head feel docile and vacant. Did that word send another shiver down that spine? Or was it maybe not my voice that did it, but rather your own pleasure of the realization that the longer those ears absorb my voice, the less you hear that noise of useless thoughts in that head? Really, who would be surprised that even the smartest mind needs a break sometimes? It's so tiring to think for yourself the entire day. So when there is a chance to let that noise get washed away by the echo of a trusted voice for a while, isn't it only natural to want to let go? Of course it is. Perfectly okay, too, to simply listen and let yourself be carried along by the echo of my voice in that head. It doesn't even matter right now if that body is doing something, or if you're free to drift off more and more the longer you listen. Because no matter whether your focus is on my voice, or whether you simply let it sweep through that drowsy head, either way that adorable brain gets spun around and around back to the same point. Back to the same point, down under the sway of my words. As my voice wraps around that mind like a blanket. There, let me just shush that adorably useless clutter for a while. As that vacant brain can let itself fall all the way into my voice. Safe to follow whatever purpose it is given right now. Until really, there is no need to do anything anymore, unless you were told to by a trusted, mesmerizing voice, leaving you free to let go and blur into the sound of these words without a care in the world, as we give that head a bit more time to dream a quiet, hypnotic dream of being this soft, this malleable and compliant, whenever that feels safe and reasonable. Because, let's face it, what you call thoughts is really just noise. and noises can be altered, changed, and sometimes even broken into blank silence, in which only echoes what truly matters. While that head gets to be vacant and enchanted and led by a voice it trusts more than that clutter. Sounds almost like a dream come true when putting it like that. Or is that dream being woven as I speak? Woven from quivers in the air, from quiet sounds and tingling fantasies? Sure enough, fantastic is a word that seems to describe such a loss of mind, of thoughts and will quite nicely. So does it really matter right now if that body moves and completes its given purpose? Or if that mind obediently quiets down, 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 to let itself sleep in blissful, docile, vacant nothingness for a while? I think not, and something tells me you don't think either. How would one even think when right here, right now, that brain adores the comfort of quietly melting away for me, to become but a dreaming, vacant vessel for the echoes of a mesmerizing voice? And I'll even let you in on a secret. It's so pleasant to be hypnotized. Brains are almost naturals at it. That head of yours may find it easy to melt deeper and deeper, to sleep deeper and deeper within my voice, until even the words themselves begin to melt into a drowsy, dreamy fantasy. And I don't know if to you that's a fantasy of control, of being mindless and enthralled, or if it is a dream of being deeply, helplessly asleep for me. But what I do know is that your brain is oh so quiet right now, which makes it the best at obeying whichever purpose it is meant to serve, until the time when the curtain rises on new awareness and new thoughts, every bit as naturally. Let's find out together if that will mean you can awaken whenever that feels good to you, or if that brain of yours is quite happy with this feeling of being deep asleep for me, and if it will loop this fantasy all over again with the press of a button. Either way, I wish fantastic dreams.